Hey guys, this is Aaron. Last video we looked at using SketchUp to create scenes and styles to prep a model to go to layout. So today we're going to take those scenes and use them to create viewports in layout. Not much more to talk about here. We're just going to do that. Nope. One more thing we're going to cover. This video is not meant to be a comprehensive training on layout. What I really want to look at is the process of using those scenes we created to set up viewports and layout. That's kind of the goal of what we're going to do here. Not going to get into a bunch of other stuff, setting up pages, putting dimensions and stuff on top of your drawings. That stuff we can do in a different video. This one I really want to focus on creating those viewports from those scenes, which is kind of core to getting a good layout file and working with the SketchUp model there. So with that, we're just going to hop right into it. All right, so here we go. We got the file we looked at last time, the same scenes we set up before. So I'm going to do now is I'm just going to hop right over into layout, and I'm going to go File and Insert that SketchUp file. Now, some people probably ask, why didn't I just use the Send to Layout command? You could absolutely do that. This is something I tend to do, is click Insert and draw my viewport manually. If you want to use Send to Layout to send it over, that's great. There's nothing wrong with doing it that way. I'm just doing it a different way. So I'm going to go ahead and grab my house for layout, and that's going to throw the last saved views. This is the last view I created. The last scene I created was my second floor section. So that is the one that shows up. So what I'm going to do right here, I'm going to create a page. My first page right here, I want to create 4 views. My front, back, left, and right view. And I want to create 4 viewports. So the first thing I'm going to do is with this viewport I just created is right click. I'm going to go to Scenes, and I'm going to tell it I want it to make the front view. So what that's going to do is just going to set that scene exactly how I had it back in SketchUp. Now, as a default, it's going to just bring this in at the current scale, whatever fits good in this viewport. So what I'm going to do is, because if I'm making some actual usable like construction drawing type things or working drawings, then I'm going to want these to actually be to a scale. So let's see what 1/8 inch equals a foot. What does that look like? Yeah, I think I could fit that on this page. So I'll keep that at 1/8 inch equals a foot, and I'm just going to kind of scale down this viewport. You notice that as I resize by grabbing the handles, it's not resizing anything. Because I have preserve scale on here, it's going to basically crop. So I'm going to grab that. I'm going to hold down the Option key or Control on Windows, and I'm going to drag a copy straight down. You can see I have that green axis there. I don't have to worry about snapping or anything. As long as I move close to vertically, it's going to snap along that green axis. All right, and I'm going to right click on this one now, and I'm going to go to my scenes and tell it to show the back. And it's just going to flip it right around. Now, because I didn't worry too much about lining my views up, I just snapped those views, I'm going to see things like this, where it ended up kind of off the page here. So a couple things I could do. One is I could just come in here and, just like I did in that top view, there we go, bring it like that, slide it over this way. I could do that sort of thing. I would actually have to go up to grab this, slide it up, and do that sort of thing to get it lined up. And that works pretty well. I'm going to take this one now. I'm going to hit Option again, slide it over another time. I'm going to overlap a little bit. That's okay, because I'm going to change it. Right click, and down here in the lower right corner, let's go show our right side. And I could bring this back this way. Another option, if I want to slide that over, is of course to double click, which is going to take me into the viewport. From here, I can right click and use things like pan. Now, as soon as I come in here, you notice that preserve on rescale is turned off. It went and it rescaled it to whatever it was because I changed the view. I'm no longer in that same scene. So if I come here to my scene, go back to my right view, it's going to do that. It's going to put it back to the view that's the scale that fits inside there. So I'm going to go back to 1/8 inch, and I'm going to preserve, and I'm just going to use my handles, whoops, there we go, preserve, which is going to put me in that crop mode rather than resizing the viewport. So not a big deal. This is something that it should seem like, as we look at this right now, you should be getting the feeling that maybe there's an easier way. And I got to come clean. This is a trainer's trick. You show the way that's not easy to do first, and then you happen to come upon a way to make it easier in the next step. So we're going to do that. I'm going to go ahead and just to finish this out, I'm going to come straight up here. I'm going to switch this around to my, whoops, my left view, and quick crop. Okay, so maybe something like that to get my views on there. So that wasn't ideal. I had to do a lot of moving stuff around. I had to really get things set up in ways like a lot of cropping, a lot of moving things around. So there's got to be a simpler way, right? Yes, fortunately there is. I'm going to go ahead and add a new page. And rather than importing again, I'm just going to go back to this first page, grab this viewport right here, right click and copy, hop over to page 2, right click and paste. And that'll just throw that on here exactly as it is in the last page. So what I want to do is I want to make a page with my two plan views. So my first floor and my second floor. So I'm going to right click on this one. I'm going to go to my scenes and click on my first floor. All right, so initially I'll have to adjust my viewport so it shows the portion of the building that I want to see. Looks good. I don't need all that driveway visible. I can close that up a little bit. All right, that looks pretty good. And for this example, I really want to have both these pictures side by side on one page. So while this is an 1/8 inch, which is probably what I'd want to put out, I'd probably want to, if I was making a drawing of this, I'd put this in the middle, title bar over here. But for this example, I'm going to make it a little bit smaller so I can see my two floors side by side. So I'm going to go ahead and drop that down to, we'll drop down to a 1/16 inch equals a foot. And it'll give me a smaller, but still very usable size there. Okay, so I'm just going to crop that back down. Looks good. So what I want to do now is right next to this, I want to put the second floor, maybe right below it. So we'll just go one above the other. So I'm going to click, again like I did before, use the modifier key, Option or Control, I'm going to drag a copy straight down. I'm going to right click, and I'm going to go to Scenes and choose my second floor. There, wait, oh, what? All right, so I thought that was going to be simple, and it turns out it wasn't. This is another one of those trainer tricks where I'm acting like I don't know what's going on. Anyhow, the issue here is that when I created these two scenes, I slightly moved the model, intentionally or unintentionally. So in order for this to line up right now, I'd have to go recrop, just like I did before, drag this over, drag this down, drag this in, and then line it up using snaps. But we're not going to do that. We're going to look at what we could do with this model right now to automatically line these two drawings up so that this is straight above this. So if I was putting it on a grid line or something like that, it would line up. If I wanted to overlay, if I wanted to put this on top of the first floor, they would line up. Right now, obviously, if I try to do any of that, everything's going to be off. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to save this. And I'm going to hop back into my SketchUp model, which I happen to still have open. And this isn't required. I don't have to have this open the whole time. I do happen to have this open right now, though. If I click through these just to look at what we were seeing before, look at how far that shifts. So when I save this scene, it's saving the entire view of the window. So you can see how when it dropped that into those kind of skinny rectangular viewports, I had to do a lot of cropping and moving stuff around to make everything line up. See how the center of the building's on the left side here. When I flip to the right view, it's over on the right. So that's something I may want to consider. As I'm making my views here, what I could do is I could use my hand tool, my pan tool, to bring this back and put it in the center. So the house is in the center, not the whole model. And then at that point, I could update that scene. Same thing with the front to back. So if I look at front, okay, so I'm a little off center. I might take this and I might slide it over a little bit and update that. And then same thing with my back. Rather than having the bulk of it this way, I could bring it back over here this way a little bit, center it more vertically, and then update that. So that's not going to be perfect. I'm not going to see exact perfect lineup on that, but that's because I'm looking at the house from a different view. With something like this, with my first and second floor, I should be able to line that up so it's exact. And I'm going to do this by using one floor as a template and then just putting that view onto the other. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to my first floor. I'm going to pan that exactly where I want it. So get that right about in the middle. Again, I don't need all the driveway or anything like that. That looks good. So I'm going to update that. And now, before I click to second floor, here, so if I click to second floor, it's going to jump back to this view, right, where it's panned over. So on my first floor, what I'm going to do is go into my outliner. I'm going to scroll all the way down to my section cuts. I am going to turn my section 2, which is my second floor cut, on. So I'm going to activate my level 2 cut, and look what happens there. It's now performing that same section cut on the exact view of the first floor. So rather than switching the second floor, what I'm going to do instead is I'm going to right click on the second floor and tell it to update that scene. By doing that, by just right clicking that, I didn't switch to it, I just activated that. So now if I go first floor, second floor, you can see they line up perfectly. Last step at this point is to go File, Save, and then hop back into Layout. Now right now nothing's changed here, but if I come in here and I right click and I say Update Model Reference, it's going to move this model where it is in that scene. And look at that. All of a sudden, without doing any other work, my models line up perfectly. So that's just scratching the surface of Layout. We did not get into a whole lot of stuff you could do inside Layout, but we did touch on some very important pieces that are key to using Layout, and that is understanding how your scenes from SketchUp work in your viewports in Layout. So hopefully that tip helped. Would you guys like to see more of Layout? If so, let me know down in the comments below. If you want to see more videos like this, go ahead and subscribe to our channel. That way you'll know when new stuff comes out. Like making these videos, but we like making them a lot more when there's something that you want to see. Thank you.